In 1998, Pfizer released sildenafil to the marketplace. Sold as Viagra, the drug generated $1 billion in sales in its first year by providing a reliable mechanical solution for male sexual health. The chemical approach was effective because male arousal is generally straightforward, relying heavily on immediate physical and visual stimuli. Following this success, Pfizer launched a secret research project to capture the other half of the market, attempting to develop a female Viagra. This timeline shows the effort's trajectory. Despite testing over 3,000 women for years, the results remained ineffective. By 2004, Pfizer closed the research and abandoned the project. Deep arousal in women requires a simultaneous alignment of physical, emotional, and social cues. It was this specific multi-layered requirement that a single chemical pill proved unable to replicate. While the pharmaceutical industry struggled to engineer this biological alignment, women had already found a working technology in paperback romance novels. The effectiveness of these books is rooted in the sequence of female arousal, which generally requires mental stimulation before any physical response can occur. A 2018 linguistic analysis of 703 top-rated romance novels found that the single most common word used across the genre is anticipation. Biologically, the prolonged buildup to a reward releases significantly more dopamine in the brain than the reward itself. While male-oriented media often relies on explicit visual descriptions, romance novels frequently skip the mechanics entirely. Instead, they use suggestive details of the hero's body to sustain that mental tension. By stretching out the narrative's tension, these books function as a catalyst that floods the brain with dopamine long before any physical intimacy is described on the page. The archetype of the male lead in these stories is often described as a coconut, someone who appears dangerous and emotionally guarded, but is selectively vulnerable and devoted to the heroine. This character possesses CAD traits, the dominant, high status, and exciting attributes typically associated with short-term mating material. At the same time, he exhibits dad traits, being caring, fiercely protective, and loyal, which are the hallmarks of a long-term partner. In the real world, finding a mate who combines these extreme, contradictory sets of traits while remaining hyper-loyal is an evolutionary rarity. The romance novel successfully replicates this ultimate mate, allowing the reader to satisfy these conflicting evolutionary desires within a safe narrative framework. Demographic data shows that 50% of romance readers are currently in relationships, while only 37% are single. Many of these readers are managing a heavy cognitive load, the mental exhaustion that comes from balancing careers, maintaining a home, and managing the division of labor. The stories provide a direct relief to this burden. Within the plot, the male protagonist takes full responsibility for planning and problem-solving, allowing the heroine to step away from the pressure of management. These narratives allow a reader to shed the weight of decision fatigue by placing her in a world where her needs are anticipated and managed by someone else. Literary theorist Pamela Regis identified that successful romance novels follow a rigid structure of 8 essential narrative elements. The most significant moment in this arc is the point of death, the low point where the relationship seems permanently destroyed. Without surviving this specific moment of trauma, the dopamine payoff of the final happily ever after would not register as earned by the brain. These books follow a rigid structural logic designed to produce a specific neurological response. Romance authors succeeded by aligning the specific emotional and evolutionary requirements of the female mind, achieving in prose what the pharmaceutical industry couldn't produce in a lab.